Standards are critical to establishing and growing strong institutions and economies. They make life safer, healthier, and easier for people, organizations, and enterprises all over the world, and enable communication and trade while allowing resources to be used more efficiently. When properly implemented, standards help to expand national, regional, and international markets, reduce cost and time to market for products and services, and achieve competitive advantage. Acknowledging the critical role standards play, Jewels, a leading Afrocentric IT governance, risk and compliance consulting, and capacity building firm, firmly anchored on implementing best practice standards for organizations across Africa, led the continent to mark the 2015 World Standards Day by organizing a landmark conference with the theme Global Standards, Becoming Africa's Common Language. The conference held on Wednesday, 21st October 2015 at the Lagos Oriental Hotel, Lagos, and was proudly supported by Access Bank, Jaiz Bank Plc, Nigeria Interbank Settlement System, and Premium Pension Limited. The landmark conference, which also marks the 63rd session of the firm's renowned IVC Forum, an eclectic platform for knowledge sharing, information exchange, and business networking among senior executives and accomplished professionals, had in attendance the movers and shakers of the financial sector, e-payments, and ICT industry as panelists and participants. The Managing Director, CEO, Jewels Ltd, Mrs. Adedoyin Odunfa, in her welcome remarks stated,
"Processes clearly outlead people, systems outlead strong men, and effective governance mechanisms ensure continuity, resilience, and endurance."
She encouraged participants to make standards a common language for excellence.
Let's make sure that standards become our common language for excellence.
The keynote address was given by Vladimir Cherny, the representative of the British Standards Institute, BSI.
The standards are actually all over us. We are used to live there, and we are not seeing that something behind us, something are helping us. And the people have spent significant time to create all of them and to help us to make our life more easy.
Mr. Cherny acknowledged Nigeria's adoption of standards.
I see the Nigerian market, they have absolutely bigger part on the growth. And I see the country is towards into the standardization. They demand, they want to see new, they want to be more certified, they want to have more best practice of the world.
The conference was made up of 5 panel discussion sessions. The first session had the regulators and certifiers stating their view on the relevance of standards. The panelists in this session were Mr. Samuel Agbola, who represented the Director, Banking and Payment Systems, Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Dipo Fatukun, Mr. Adebajumo, the ED, Nigerian Stock Exchange, and Mr. Vladimir Cherny, representative of the British Standards Institute. The panel was chaired by Mrs. Adedoyin Odunfa, the MD CEO, Jewels Ltd.
Central Bank gave out an instruction to all the industry that we want them to be certified on payment card industry data security standard so that the payment system will be secure. Because our goal, our aim is to have a payment system that is safe, that is secure, that is convenient, efficient, and of course, at a minimum cost.
So the BS 27001 standard for us is not the end. It is a minimum standard. It's a baseline standard. We strive to achieve over and above that, and we strive to live over and above that standard. So it's very important that when you're adopting standards, you do it for the right reasons, not just to get a certificate and tick a box.
I think the common things, what we need to think that all the standards, especially like management system certification, are having their working towards to the clients. The final user of all the standards which are implemented is towards to the client. Actually, the client need to get something from you. If you're implementing that, he needs to make sure that the information which he provides to you are going to be secure and nothing will be happening with that standard. The credit card, which he can use, it's not going to be, if case on stolen, it should be management system, which are actually helping to him right way to stop the transaction, which otherwise can be paid from the bank as well. And I think that's the regulatory requirement as well. And I think the regulator as well, not just to mention anything, just guys, you need to follow the standard. I think they implement the standard, they certify by the standard, they see the benefits of the standard, and after this, based on their practice, they actually mention to others, guys, it's one of the best practice. I think all of you should go ahead as well.
Usually we know that organizations cannot get certified until they go through at least one cycle of the plan, do, check, and act. Okay, so the more cycles you go through, the more mature and the stronger your systems become.
The second session had the public sector take the wheels in the persons of Mr. Imade Nwanko, IT Director, Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, and Mr. Owoicho Igoji, the Group Head, Corporate Services, Galaxy Backbone.
We're looking at other that we want to also adopt. Now, why is this important? It's very important because as a regulator of financial institutions, microfinance banks, deposit banks, PMIs, non-interest deposit banks, we must be on the same level or higher than those that we regulate. Right? Because they cannot, CBN cannot bring a roadmap for certifications by these financial institutions to adopt at certain times of the year. All right? From that 2018, the current roadmap by CBN is from 2012 to 2018. And I think by 2018, all financial institutions will have the BSI 2001. All right? So we cannot stay aloof while financial institutions are moving on. So it's in our best interest to ensure that we scale up fast enough so that when we are supervising them, all right, we are on the same page and we do what is right.
So government really understand the concept of the three attributes of information security around CIA. And the moment they hear about you talking about the need to really secure government data, I think you have actually made their day. Secondly,
the movers and shakers of the ICT and e-payment industry sat through the third panel in the persons of Ms. Funke Okeke, the MD, Main One Cable Company, Mr. Adeshonobi, the MD, Nigerian Interbank Settlement System, and Mr. Biondu Omoni, MD, VDT Communications. They assessed the impact of standards on the ICT and e-payment value chain.
Into data center services, it was a major leap of faith because we were asking customers to move from on-premise data centers, having all their information, their servers directly under their control, and to trust a third party with them. And so how do you provide that certainty, not just in the quality of the facility, but in the processes and then the results that you achieve thereby? And so certification was a means of asserting that for us, that indeed we were doing the right thing.
Standards themselves prove it, show us the data, show us the fact. And so one of the things that brings that home is about the systems and making sure you take feedback from the market. So there are regular schedules or regular periods where we must go to the market, build surveys, and then talk to our customers. We wanted them to give us feelings from the market. Now we do that regularly. It's part of what the standards dictate.
Way of life for us, and that's why we need to know the standards that are key for our business and ensure we drive them. If they are local, influence them. because you also have the same.
The penultimate panel had Mr. Yinka Daramola, CIO Ecobank Nigeria Limited, Mr. Boyega Dada, the Group CIO Stanbic IBTC Group, and Mr. Sam Okenye, the CISO United Bank for Africa PLC, giving their views on standards from a pan-African perspective.
I love COVID-5. Yeah, to let you know, because I got seriously involved myself, and when my people were going for certification, I said, I would like to do this certification myself. I love it because it just eases things, okay? It eases the way we live with business. It's not that easy to implement in terms of, it's a complete mind shift.
You know, standard for us is good because it helps to make things easier. And when you speak the language of standard, the management also listens. They say, look, this is the best practice.
There is a paradigm shift in security to realize that the old ways of thinking about security has changed. You don't think about security in such a way that you think you can keep these guys out. It is almost impossible to keep everybody out. So the prevention is almost becoming impossible. What we now need to do is that we need to be able to detect if there's been an intrusion. Of course, we try our best to prevent, but if there's an intrusion, we must be able to detect. And what is unforgivable is we are not able to respond. So a lot of shift is moved to the fact that I will be protecting, but my strength is in detecting if there's an intrusion and responding very, very quickly so that I can contain it. And that's the only way we can manage to do that.
The leaders of the financial sector discussed the benefits and pain points of standards. The panelists in the session were Ms. Ojini Olagere, the ED Operations and IT, Access Bank Plc, Mr. Abdullahi Ibrahim, the ED First Bank of Nigeria Limited, Malam Nurul Islam, the MD, Jaiz Bank Plc, and Mr. Kayode Akonde, the ED Premium Pension Limited.
You cannot be respected if you don't have standards.
We never believe we will be this efficient.
Adopting standards means that you need to put in place certain structures. You will need some modification on your infrastructure, your IT infrastructure, and a whole gamut of resource deployment. That is apart from the monitoring to ensure that you remain on track. And that monitoring could be internal. And then you also from time to time need recertification. So from time to time you need to standards issue of the company and look at your practices and your processes to confirm that you are complying with those standards. All of these things cost money.
So, high cost and the benefits worth it?
Yes, high cost, definitely, but in the long run, even in the short term, the benefits are immense, and definitely I would outweigh the costs.
Our hardware, software, we should maintain the standards for the human wear also. If we cannot maintain the standards of the human wear, and if we cannot motivate them, as we say all the time, if you don't have ethical and moral standard, we are being human beings who could be worse than the animal. This is very, very important and vital. And I like to mention it time again with more emphasis. Whatever standard we are maintaining in respect of our...
The 2015 World Standards Day conference was indeed a success, with significant and numerous learning points for all in attendance. Don't miss the 2016 conference. See you then.